Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you our boondocking solar setup that we get purchased from Harbor Freight. There's three reasons we went with the Harbor Freight solar setup for our Aliner camper. First one being that they're reasonably well reviewed. Second is that they're inexpensive. And third, there happens to be a Harbor Freight store within 5 miles of my house, so any kind of issues and returns become a pretty easy thing to handle. Okay, first thing is, why did I not mount my solar panel on the roof like a lot of other people do on their A-liners? That actually is fairly easy to do as far as mounting is concerned. All people really do is take advantage of the metal frame up here made out of aluminum, and they run a piece of flat stock that they get from Home Depot or wherever, from one end all the way to the other and pop rivet it into place, top, and another one at the top there, and use it to bolt down the solar panels, which has its advantages, but it also has some disadvantages. The primary advantage of bolting it to the roof is convenience. It's just there at all times. You don't even have to think about it. It's hooked up, wired up, just runs anytime it's out in the sun. No issues of any kind in that regard, and is also somewhat theft resistant because you need tools to get it off the roof of the camper. Even if somebody comes by, it's relatively highly mounted up there, and you have to somehow get the pop rivets out to remove the solar panels. The downside to putting it up there, which I thought was more important than the advantages, is a couple-fold. First one is the solar panel itself on your solar roof would only really works if you're facing it the correct way and are in full sun. That means that most of the time you have to take advantage of how you're parking to aim your camper for maximum sun use. Not a huge deal if you've got a lot of solar panels. If you're only using a single one like I am, it becomes more of an issue. The output of the panel can vary quite a lot depending on which way you're facing it. By putting it on the ground, I can not only park the camper in a shady spot and still have the solar panel be out in the sun, I can have the solar panel aimed perfectly in any direction, and I can move it during the course of the day if I choose to keep up with the sun as it scrolls across the sky. This provides a lot more output from my one little panel that I'm trying to use. I've had actually no real issues with keeping up with the charging. During the daylight hours, I'm getting about 7 amps out of it in most cases. My biggest draw on this camper is the ceiling fan, which draws on high 3 amps, on low, which is where it's almost always on, is only 1 amp. So it easily keeps it charged. I have no issues at all. The few little lights and odds and ends that I otherwise run with it hardly draw any juice either. My battery is usually fully charged when I leave a campground. The issue that is downside to having it on the ground, of course, is that it would be pretty easy to steal. Somebody would just have to simply unplug it from your camper and walk away. The way I decided to deal with that is by making a leash for it. That is a dog lead that I bought that from the store that is longer than the lead from the camper's charging setup, slightly longer. Notice it's padlocked right to the frame, and then I would padlock the other end when in use right to the tongue of the hitch. I put another padlock there. It's actually restrained. Now, that's not going to prevent people from stealing it under all cases, but it does require that the thief has to have tools to remove your solar panel. And really, that's all you can do with any theft having to do with campers. There's no heavy-duty locks on any of the stuff, doors, anything. People are going to get it if they really want it. The key is to make it tough for the people who are just opportunists, walk by, saw it, oh, that looks nice, I'm going to grab that sucker. Instead, they actually have to be prepared and have tools. If they tried to simply yank this off of here, you probably could smash through the frame, but you'd also destroy the solar panel in the process, meaning there's no real reason to steal it that way. So you either have to come back with tools or give up and not bother yours. So far, I've had no issues with it. Nobody's even played with it. So overall, we've been pretty pleased with the Harbor Freight setup. We've had no issues of any kind. It's just worked as it's supposed to, including the controller, which is an inexpensive one that Harbor Freight sells, but it's been fine. No problems at this point to report. Been reliable and it's performing like it's supposed to. Thanks for watching.